Where's he gone? You waiting for him? You waiting for him? Come on in. Good girl. Yeah. Is he there? Where is he? Yeah. Hi everyone, welcome to another video. We are just walking at Chatsworth today in Derbyshire. We've parked, where did we park?
Enza.
In Enza, and then we're just doing a loop. I think it's about 6 miles. Just Chatsworth is just there behind me. So we're just walking through the fields in the grounds bit at the minute, and then we'll head up through the wood, do a loop round, and then come back through Chatsworth itself. So just thought we'd get the dogs out. I'm now almost 30 weeks pregnant, so can you tell?
No.
I can tell. But yeah, feeling really good with it, and been able to keep quite active, which is good. And hopefully during this video I was just going to chat through sort of doing exercise through the first trimester, and was going to make follow-up videos with exercise during the second, and obviously now I'm in the third, where getting a stitch while walking the dogs is relatively common. So hope you enjoy the walk and the chat. Exercise in the first 12 weeks of pregnancy was actually not too bad. I didn't really have any expectation. I don't know if I've said before, but I'm quite keen on triathlon and running, so that's my main sport really, all sports. So prior to getting pregnant, the distances I used to race were half Ironman or standard distance triathlon as well, but mostly half Ironman. So I was reasonably fit going into it. So I used to train probably 8 to 10 hours a week roughly, alongside working full time, and that was split vaguely evenly between swimming, cycling and running. Just before getting pregnant I probably dropped that quite a bit, and then yeah, during the first 12 weeks I didn't really have any expectation at all. I did enter some races very last minute, just when I was feeling pretty good. Did a 10k right at the start and ended up getting a decent PB, so that was quite a surprise. And I didn't really have much in the way of morning sickness, although I did feel quite sick, especially when I was hungry. So those days I just took them easy. I only trained when I wanted to. If I felt unwell I took the day off. And then during that period as well is when you often feel quite tired, so again I would just take it easier or have a day off and just train very much on feel. So I have had a triathlon coach in the past, but I'd kind of sacked things off with that, just so I didn't feel any pressure, and only trained when I felt like it. So I think during those first 12 weeks I probably stuck to running a bit more. I was just feeling more motivated to run than do any other sports, and I was actually really surprised how good I felt running and how my times actually didn't really drop off too much until I was getting on midway through pregnancy. I'm a member of a running club as well, so I was running with them once a week, and there's several different groups, 5 different groups that run with the club, so I would just change depending on how I was feeling. If I didn't feel as good or didn't want to push myself during this time, I would just run with a slower group, and it just meant I could get a really good session in without having the pressure of feeling like I need to keep up with everybody, and it was much more doable at whatever stage I was at. So I think during the first 12 weeks was probably when I felt the most tired and the most unwell in terms of sickness, even though I probably had it very easy in comparison to others. So that's why I think it's important to go off feel and doing what's right for you at your fitness level going into pregnancy, not overdoing things basically, or doing sessions too hard. So I did do some sessions that were interval runs, for example, but they were much more infrequent than when I wasn't pregnant, and generally most of my sessions were just done at an easier heart rate, and a heart rate where you could talk to someone else through the session. And one of the things I found when we went for the midwife chat is there was no real guidance as to how much, little or too much exercise that you can be doing. It was regarded as a good thing to be doing exercise, and because my body's used to it, it was something that I should keep going. I ended up going into a bracket of what's classed as excessive exercise based off my previous history of triathlon training, which has meant that I'll get extra scans now past 30 weeks. So I've got a 30-week scan, a 34-week scan, maybe even a 38-week scan, just because you're at risk of a slightly smaller baby. But they certainly weren't saying to stop exercise, they were saying to continue it, but just go very much more off feel. You can use heart rate as a guide. I haven't really. I've just done sessions where I can chat with other people that feel relatively easy within my comfort level, and if I want to have a stop and a break, then that's just what I do. Oh, you've not done much rolling yet, Jessie.
Okay, stop.
Nice lunch for you.
Some sandwiches.
You want some of my sandwich? Oh, 2 people waiting. Yeah. We ended up as well during the first 12 weeks doing quite a lot of hiking, which was a really good way to keep some fitness and get outside, and the dogs always need walking, so that's been fairly consistent all the way through. And we had 2 trips to the Lake District, so a week in August and a week in September, just hiking the whole time. the trees looking down into Chatsworth. So we're just going to head back down these steps and back through the car park and then through the grounds and find our car again. I think the other slightly tricky part during the first 12 weeks was that we hadn't told anyone that I was pregnant. So it was a slight balance between still doing certain sessions with people whilst taking it a bit easier, knowing that you were pregnant, but trying not to give the game away that you were. On the final bit now to the car, so hope you enjoyed the video and a little bit of a chat about me trying to exercise through the first trimester, and I'll try and do another one of a walk perhaps and chatting through the second trimester and how that's differed, because that's been quite different to, I don't know whether I'd say to what I expected, because I didn't really expect anything, but just a few changes that I've had to make. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Yes?
Tired.